Can anybody tell me what we had completed in last class? Okay, students, can anybody tell me what we had completed in last class? Okay, what we had completed in last class, students?
Meaning of organizational behavior, ma'am.
Very good. So we had seen with the meaning of organizational behavior and then introduction about it, and then we had also seen I think the definitions, and also we had watched a small video of why we have to study organizational behavior. Okay, so we'll continue with the rest of the concept today. Okay, so in last class, we had seen with the introductory part of organizational behavior, what is organizational behavior, what are the two important and basic elements of organizational behavior, and then we had seen with meaning of organizational behavior, and then we had seen with the definition of organizational behavior. So organizational behavior, it is a field of study, right? Organizational behavior is a field of study where you will be analyzing the behavior of the individual, of the group, and also of the organizational structure, and also you will be analyzing what is the impact, what is the effect that particular behavior is shown by the individual, group, and also structure on the organization. So to do that analysis, we call that as organizational behavior. So we have also seen definition according to Newstorm and Davis and Fred Luthans. Okay. So today we'll see with nature and characteristics of organizational behavior. Okay. So organizational behavior. So these are the natures and characteristics of organizational behavior. One is behavioral approach to management. So when we say organization, organization is a part of the whole management. Okay. So when we say organizational behavior, or the behavior that has been projected by the individual, or the behavior that has been projected by the group on certain situation that happens in the organization, so how they react on it. So since organizational behavior is a part of management on the whole, so we call that as approach to management. Organizational behavior, we call that as approach to management. Why? Because it is very we also call behavioral management, sorry, behave organizational behavior as a field of study. Why we call that as field of study? Because it is very important to analyze the human behavior in the organization, because without knowing what is the perception, what is the attitude that a person has or the employee has towards the organization, we cannot predict whether that particular employee is working better for the organization, is he working good for the organization, is he taking up the task very seriously in the organization. So we call that as organizational behavior is an approach to management, where organizational behavior helps in analyzing the employees in the organization, which again gives an opportunity for a manager to mold and also to create certain environment where it will directly affect the management on the whole. So here, by doing so, an employee will be motivated to work better for the organization. An employee can be influenced to work better for the organization. So we call organizational behavior as an approach to management. Since organization is a part of management, then doing a field of study on organizational behavior helps the manager to succeed in what is expected out of an employee. Okay, so this is a behavioral approach to management. Next comes, and also when I say it is very important to analyze human behavior in the organization. Why it is important to analyze this human behavior in the organization? Because it directly impacts on the growth of the organization, expansion of the organization, and also development of the organization. If an employee is not having a positive response or positive attitude towards the organization, then it's very difficult for a manager to uphold the whole system or whole management. So that is why it is very important to analyze the organizational behavior, that is human behavior in the organization. Next is cause and effect relationship. So we say that behavioral organizational behavior is a has a cause and effect relationship. Why here whatever forecasting that we do of an individual, whatever forecasting that we do about a employee in the organization will have a direct effect on the organization. So it is very important that we do a organizational behavior analysis here. So only we call that as field of study. Without knowing what is the intention that the employees is having, what is the dedication that an employee is showing towards the work. Without knowing that, we cannot assume, or we cannot know where our work is going to be, how successful we can be in the management or with the business that we have started. So we call that as cause and effect relationship. Once we forecast what is the behavior that an individual has towards the organization, it provides a good statement, or it provides a blueprint for the management to look forward to an effect of a certain activities on behavioral management. Okay, so here the manager will get to know what are the things that has to be modified in terms of human. Why if I get to know if an employee is going in a negative way, so I will be able to analyze what is the cause for that, what is the effect if that particular employee goes in that way only, in a negative way only, what is the effect that the organization will have to face. So by doing this forecasting of behavior of an employee or a human in the organization, it helps us to bridge the gap between the cause and the effect that a particular behavior will have in the organization. Okay, so we call organization behavior has a cause and effect relationship. Okay, next comes organizational behavior is a branch of social science. Okay, so we are not organization is completely influenced by certain social elements, certain social branches, like it can be the psychology, because here we will be analyzing the psychology of each and every employee. So it involves psychology, that is again a branch of social science. It involves sociology, so we will be analyzing how social the employee is. So that also is a branch of social science. And again we will be analyzing the anthropology. So all these concepts will give rise to a social science concept. Okay, so we call organization behavior is a branch of social science. Why? Basically here we are dealing with human behavior. Okay, a behavior that is projected by each and every employee in the organization. So next we call organization behavior as three level of analysis. So if you want to analyze the behavior of an employee in the organization, we say that we have to do three level of analysis. So what are those three levels? One is individual level, next is inter-individual level, next organizational level. So by analyzing all these three levels, a manager here would be able to give a perfect blueprint of how the organization behavior is. Because when I say individual level, so here the manager will be analyzing each and every employee of how they are behaving in the organization, how they're involved in the work, what kind of work they're rendering, all that will be analyzed. Next comes the inter-individual level. So here in inter-individual level, so the employee themselves will be put in a situation where they will be able to analyze what kind of behavior they are projecting and how it is impacting the organization. Okay, let's give an example. So for example, let's assume that I am a manager and I am observing that an individual or a group of people is not very much oriented towards the work. So what I'll do, I will do a motivational sessions. Okay, and I will make sure that I will put the employee in such a way that he himself should analyze that what kind of behavior he is projecting towards the organization and what impact it is giving on the organization. So that is your inter-individual level. Next comes your organizational level. So in organizational level, so what happens here? Now we cannot completely say that because of human behavior, because of employees' behavior, it is impacting organization. Certain decision that is taken by the manager, certain decision that has been taken by the higher ups can also influence the individual behavior in the organization. So that also will determine the organizational behavior here. So these are the three levels of analysis when it comes to organizational behavior. That is individual level, another one is inter-individual level, and third is the organizational level. Okay. Next, organizational behavior is a science as well as art. Now, why we call organizational behavior as a science as well as art? Because when we say that, when we consider organization as a science as well as art, it is why we consider it as science, because it is a systematic knowledge, the study that we do, a systematic knowledge study that we do about human, which in terms has science and also has an application of all knowledge. So here you will be analyzing, you will be trying to determine the individual behavior in the organization. So that itself comes under the concept of science. You guys have to join soon for the class. Okay, so it is a systematic knowledge about human which is termed as science. Okay, so here you will be trying to analyze systematically the knowledge of human. So when you're doing a systematic study, when you're doing a proper analytics of study, then we coin the term as science. So we call organizational behavior as science. Next, why we call organizational behavior as art? Because it is the application of that knowledge. So whatever systematic study that you have done, whatever knowledge that you have gained because of that systematic study, that you will be implying, that you will be applying it. All knowledge will be applied. So we call that as art. So organizational behavior together can be called as a science as well as arts. Okay, even though we say that organizational behavior is a science as well as art, but still we cannot stand on it. Why? Because one cannot, in the organization, a manager cannot exactly say that organizational behavior is a science, because we cannot project or we cannot forecast how a human would behave in certain situation. So for example, if I'm trying to analyze one student, I will be thinking that okay, so this particular student may react in ABC order. But that particular person, when particular student, when I push him through certain situation, he may not go in that ABC order. He might go in, PQR order. So because of this uncertainty, we cannot say that it is a science, exactly a science concept. Okay. So next comes a body of theory, research and application. So why we call organizational behavior as a body of theory, research and application? Because this helps in understanding the all human of all the people in the organization. Okay, because we are analyzing the behavior of the people in the organization, because we are trying to determine what is the major factor that is influencing an employee or an person in the organization to behave in a certain way. So we call that as a theory, research and application. So here you will be having a basic knowledge of how a person would react. So that is the theory part. Next, you will be trying to push that person in a certain situation. You will be trying to do a experimental factor. So we call that as a research part. So next, whatever application or whatever strategies that you have come with, so you will be trying to apply that. You will be trying to implement that. So we call that as an application part. So here, organizational behavior is a body of theory as well as research as well as application. So here, all these techniques and methods which the manager would come up with will help the manager to solve the problem that arises in the organization. How the solutions are determined by the theory that he has analyzed, by the research that he has made, and finally by the application he is trying to make in the organization. Okay, so this is the why we call organizational behavior as a body of theory, research, and also an application. Next comes benefits to both organization and individual. So when in an organization, when we try to do or analyze the behavior of the persons in the organization or employees in the organization, it creates a good environment, because here we are trying to analyze what kind of behavior that the employee is projecting. If it is going in a positive way, then it is fine. But if it is not going in a positive way, what are the changes that a manager has to make in order to make that go in a positive way? So when we are trying to do this kind of changes in the organization, obviously it creates a healthy environment where both managers and the employees will have a good environment for work. So this builds a healthy environment. So the organization and the individual can get benefit out of each other. So that is why it is very important in an organization to analyze the behaviors, when it behavior of an individual, behavior of the group and behavior of the organization, because it helps to create a healthy environment within the employees, and also with employees and employees and organization. So we call it, when we are doing a organizational behavior, when we are trying to study the behavior in the organization, it benefits both the organization as well as the individuals. Okay, next comes balanced thinking. So when you're doing a field of study, we know organizational behavior is a field of study where you will be trying to investigate the impact and also the effect that the individual will bear on the organization. So when you are doing that study, or when you do a rational thinking about the people and how they behave in the organization, so it helps us to understand, it helps us to explain, and also it helps us to forecast the human behavior in the organization. So when we are able to understand, when we are able to forecast, when you are able to explain why certain things are happening in the organization, when we are aware about it, then it brings in a balanced thinking, not just to the manager but also to the employees, and they will be able to analyze why things are happening in the organization. So that is why organizational behavior is a very important concept on the whole, because it gives the manager a blueprint of how exactly the human resource is working in the organization. Okay. So this is the nature and characteristics of organizational behavior, students. Any doubts? Okay.
No, ma'am.
So next we'll see with,
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am. Yeah, the I didn't get this point. Now, body of theory, research, and application.
Okay. Why we call organizational behavior as a body of theory, research and application? Because we all know that when we call organizational behavior, when we are talking about organizational behavior, it is a field of study. So you're here basically you are trying to study, you are trying to analyze, you are trying to investigate the impact and effect that an individual behavior will have on the organization. So when you're trying to analyze the organizational behavior, this helps in understanding the human of all the people in the organization. Okay, whoever is working in the organization, so they will be we will be trying to analyze their behavior, because see, it's very important for us to do that analysis, because we should know whether that particular employee is working in a positive way or a negative way. To analyze these two concepts, we should do a behavioral analysis here. Okay, once that all that understanding is done, we will be here as a manager. If for example, if I am having an organization, if I am a manager, so it helps me to tackle the human problem that is associated in the organization. Okay, so using certain theoretical aspect, I will be trying to analyze why a employee is behaving in such a way or in certain way. So using certain kind of research tools, for example, I gave you, for example, if any of the student is, if trying to, if is disoriented from the class, or if is not very attentive in the class. So what I'll do, I'll try to implement certain aspect which is already existent. So I'll try to motivate him, I'll try to engage him in the class, I'll give him more responsibility. So that is the research part which is already done. Even the same way in the organization, when I am trying for, as a manager, if somebody is facing some kind of issue in terms of human resource, they will try to rectify it by using certain kind of aspects, certain kind of the research methodology that is already existent. So once this theoretical aspect, whatever we were having, that we have implemented and we have made a research about it. So the last thing would be applying it, executing it. So here organizational behavior, so only we call that as a body of theory, research and application, where it helps the manager to solve all the problem which is associated with organization, which is directly impacting on the behavior of the employees. So understood, Mishra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Next, we'll see with objectives of organizational behavior. So in nature only, almost everything is covered. So I'll just give a brief introduction. I mean, brief explanation about what are the objectives of organizational behavior. So the first is controlling and directing behavior. So organizational behavior, why we do an analysis we have, why we do an analysis here, or why we do a study here, so that we have a control on the behavior of the individual in the organization. Okay, after understanding how an employee would behave in the organization, a manager will be able to, or is required to, control and direct the behavior. Okay, without doing that, a manager cannot analyze what kind, or he won't be able to forecast what behavior. For example, if an employee is behaving in certain way, if a manager is not able to control it, and if a manager is not able to direct that particular behavior, then he will be not able to analyze what is the impact it is going to be in the future. Whatever behavior that a particular person is projecting, a manager will not be able to analyze what is the impact that the particular employee will project in future. So here the main objective of doing an studying an organizational behavior is to control and direct the behavior towards a positive way, towards the way that the organization is expecting. Because we all know that when we say organization, when we say human or employees, all of them are not same. All of them will not have same intentions. They'll not have same behavior towards the work, dedication towards the work. So it becomes very important for a manager to do this OB so that he will have a control and over the behavior of the employees, and also he will be able to direct the behavior of an employee. Okay, next comes use of power and sanction. So here when I say power, power refers to the capacity of an individual to take a certain decision or to take up certain task in the organization, or how dedicatively he will work in the organization. Okay, so here when OB is rightly done in the organization, so whatever power that is been referred here will be utilized it in a maximum extent. So power here refers to the capacity that an individual have. See, when we do a analysis here, me as a, for example, if I am a manager, I will get to know what are the strength weakness of an employee. So when I get to know the strength and weakness of the employee, then I will be able to analyze, and also I will be able to direct them towards a positive way, which will directly impact, or which will directly what I can say directly So when I say use of power and sanction, so for example, if I know what are the strength and weakness of an employee, then I will be able to, for example, if an employee is having certain kind of weakness, so I will be able to mold it. So that becomes a power. So here power this brings out the best out of an employee. So the capacity of the individual to do a certain task will be extracted in a positive way. Now what is the sanction? So whatever positive impact that we have done, or whatever power that an individual have, so that he will be executing it, so that is sanction. Okay, so doing a proper organizational behavior, so it helps to utilize the power that an individual have to do a certain task and to execute it. Okay, so this is the objective of OB. Next comes leadership. So leadership here means it identifies various leadership styles. So can anybody does anybody remember what are the different types of leadership? What are the different types of leadership, students? Does anybody know any idea?
No, ma'am.
Autocratic, democratic?
Ah, yes, ma'am. I remember.
Yes. So what do you mean by autocratic leadership style?
Ma'am, don't remember about autocratic, but in democratic leadership style, leader gives opportunity for all the members to
Mm-hmm.
get their this thing choices. He takes their account into the matter. He lets them have their choice and later decides what is the best thing to do. Like after collecting the choices of all the members.
Very
So
good.
that is democratic type of leadership. And in one type of leadership, I don't know the name. Only
Mm.
the leader decides everything. He does not give the opportunity for anyone to get their choices. The
Mm.
leader will decide for the organization in the best interest of the organization. No one other has any choice in that matter.
Yes, that's autocratic leadership. Okay. Autocratic leadership is
That's a directive leadership, I guess.
yes. So autocratic leadership is where the manager, for example, or the who are the higher ups, he will not give an opportunity to anybody to express their opinion. all the decision, all the choices will be made by one single person alone. So democratic leadership is where the leader gives opportunity to the subordinates, where they will their opinions will be taken into consideration. So all of them will be given opportunity to express their opinion, and which is the best opinion or which is the best solution that has been given by the subordinate, that will be chosen by the leader. There is one more leadership style, that is laissez faire. Okay, autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. So in laissez-faire, here the managers are least bothered. So each and every activity will be completely done by the subordinates themselves. Okay, in democratic leadership, where the employees opinions are taken, but in laissez-faire, here the subordinates themselves have to take all the decision. So here the leaders participation will be very zero. Okay, so in organizational behavior, why this leadership plays a very important role, because it identifies various leadership style that is available for the manager. So like we told, autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. So here the manager will have an option to take up various leadership style on various situation, because whatever situation that comes forth, not only one leadership style will be applicable. So for different situation, here manager has to take up different leadership style. So here when you do an organizational behavior analysis, it gives a manager uh, what kind of leadership style that has to be involved to solve that problem or to tackle that particular situation. So that is why leadership style plays a very important role. Okay. So next comes communication. Why communication plays a very important role in organizational behavior? Because communication helps people to come in contact with each other. Okay, so here when we are doing an analysis or when we are trying to build a good organizational behavior in the organization, so obviously it helps the people to come in contact with each other. When they come in contact with each other, obviously whatever objectives that the organization is having, whatever goals, vision that the organization is having, can be communicated to one another, and they will work in one accord. So the communication part plays a very important role. Next comes the organizational climate. Organizational climate, why it is important? Because it refers to the total organizational situation affecting the human behavior. Okay, for example, if the organization is going in a good way, the whole organization will have that positive vibe. But if an organization is facing some kind of difficulty, if the organization is having some kind of turbulence, then obviously it will affect the whole organization. So the organizational climate also plays a very important role. Organizational climate also plays a very important role, because the total organizational situation affects the human behavior. Okay, so next comes organizational adaptation. Okay, so why this adaptability should be there in the organization? Why organizational behavior has to adapt? Because no, see, organization will have its own vision and mission, but the employees who are working in that particular organization, it's not mandatory or it's not necessary for them to have that same mindset. So the organization should mold its objectives or mold its goals in such a way that it suits the mentality or the behavior of the employees in the organization, where both the employees as well as the organization will be in a win-win situation. Okay, it should be a win-win situation. It should not be a win-lose situation, not a lose-lose situation. It should be a win-win situation. So the organization should mold its objectives or goals or vision or mission in such a way that it matches the behavior that has been projected by the organization, keeping in mind the keeping in mind whatever molding that they are doing or whatever changes or whatever alteration that they are doing, it should also give rise to a good what I can say, it should match the objectives and goals that has been set by the organization. Okay, so these are the objectives of our OB. So any doubts, students? Any doubts so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we will end it here and
Ma'am.
yeah, we'll continue in the next class.
No.
Answer your attendance.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Balmukhan. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. If there's a situation, ma'am, in an organization,
Mm-hmm.
there's a situation in organization, ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
where the interest of the employee is not like, like he's not comfortable working there. Like
Okay.
he's behaving like rude, he's like unhappy with his work.
Okay.
Over there, how this organizational behavior works.
See, when a situation arises where an
Like,
employee is not
how will they manage this?
yes, and that's what. If he's not comfortable working there, or if he's not willing to work there, or if he's showing a rude behavior, then it becomes very important for a manager to tackle that problem as soon as possible. Because if one employee is unhappy with the situation that is there, or he is not happy with the working environment, he can influence the other employees also to come to that same mindset. Okay, so what a manager can do here, he can call an employee and do a counseling session. He can motivate him. Okay, and if he's having any kind of issue, what is the issue that he's facing, that has to be first known by the manager. So accordingly he can give certain kind of solution. So manager has at this point has to be very creative, and also he has to be innovative, because if he is not taking a swift action, then obviously that particular employee can spread that negativity to the whole organization. So to tackle that problem, maybe for your question, a manager here can do a counseling session for that or the particular person, or he can motivate him. He can give certain motivational factor. He can give certain kind of rewards or recognition. You know, like giving him best performance, or recognizing his work, appreciating his work. So when he is doing this kind of when he is using this kind of techniques, obviously it will motivate the employee to work better in the organization, and whatever negative thoughts or negative attitude that he is having towards the work can be shifted towards the positive attitude. Okay. Yes. Okay. Answer your attendance. Aaron,
Present, ma'am.
Ashish,
Present, ma'am.
Abhi Babu,
Present, ma'am.
Abhishek Kumar, Ja. Okay. Adish Dev.
Present, ma'am. Ma'am, Abhishek Kumar is present, ma'am.
Okay. Adidev Chaitanya,
Present, ma'am.
Aditya Ji,
Present, ma'am.
Pandey,
Present, ma'am.
uh, Afifa.
Present, ma'am.
Next, Aishwarya,
Present, ma'am.
Akhil,
Present, ma'am.
Akshay Das,
Present, ma'am.
Alan,
Present, ma'am.
Alanki, Alanki is not present. Next is Aman,
Present, ma'am.
Amritpal, Amritpal. Okay, Ananya. Ananya is present. Anirudh KM,
Present, ma'am.
Anirudh V. Anjali.
Present, ma'am.
Ankit.
Present, ma'am.
Ankita Saha.
Present, ma'am.
Anuj.
Present, ma'am.
Anusha.
Present, ma'am.
Next, Anuvind. Asim.
Present, ma'am.
Ashwini.
Present, ma'am.
Asir Chandralal. Asir Chandralal. Okay, he's not.
Ma'am, he is there in the meeting, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Atul. Ayush.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Rajdeep.
Present, ma'am.
Balmukund. Balmukund. Okay. Banu Prakash.
Present, ma'am.
Bhumika.
Present, ma'am.
Brijesh.
Present, ma'am.
Srihari.
Present, ma'am.
Chintala Charan Roy.
Present, ma'am.
Kadir.
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, Balmukul Mishra present, ma'am.
Okay. Deepak.
Present, ma'am.
Deepti. Dheeraj.
Present, ma'am.
Disha.
Present, ma'am.
Isha.
Present, ma'am.
Faizan. Gaurang.
Present, ma'am.
Sharma.
Present, ma'am.
Gautam.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Gokul.
Present, ma'am.
Govardhan. Govindu Lahari. Gunjan.
Present, ma'am.
Okay.
Gunjan, present, ma'am.
Okay. Hanzola. Hari Krishnan. Harshraj.
Present, ma'am.
Another Harshraj.
His mic is not working, but he is present.
Okay, fine. Harshit C.
No, his mic is not working. See.
Okay. KJ. Harshit KJ. Harshita.
Present, ma'am.
Himanshu.
Present, ma'am.
Rishikesh. Indumati.
Present, ma'am.
Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
Jarifa.
Present, ma'am.
Jyoti.
Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah, Santosh. I have marked your attendance. Gautam.
Present, ma'am.
Kapil. Kapu. Sainath Reddy.
Present, ma'am. Sainath Reddy.
Okay. Karthik.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Kartikeya Kumar Verma. Keshav.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Kushi.
Present, ma'am.
Kiran. Kiran is not there. Kishore.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Komal.
Present, ma'am.
Kishan. Krutik.
Present, ma'am.
Kunal. Kushal. Kushal Jain. Kusum.
Present, ma'am.
Dhyan. Dhyan Bhupanna. Harshavardhan. Manish.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Madhuri Devi.
Present, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, students, I have marked your attendance. You can exit the class. We'll meet in the next class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, you're welcome.